Good morning and welcome to the show. I'm out here at Marine Max on Panama City Beach with Todd Hudgel right here on Thomas Drive looking at a beautiful Sea Ray. Now this is a 21-foot?
It is. This is a Sea Ray 21 SPX, Don. It's a brand new model for 2015. They've made a lot of improvements, a lot of great features on the boat. They're really great boats.
Now is this an inboard or an outboard or inboard-outboard?
This boat is a stern drive. Some people call that inboard-outboard. It also is powered by a brand new engine by Mercury that is the first stern drive engine ever invented solely to be a boat engine.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 4.5 liters, 250 horsepower.
So you can get some speed on this thing, can't you?
Good running boat. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Yeah. And blue.
Yeah, beautiful color.
It is a beautiful color to have out on the water.
With the matching bimini, really good looking package.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can take me top side there and show me around a little bit.
Absolutely.
Let's check out some of the features of this boat.
Great.
You know, Todd, I'm looking at this boat, and it reminds me sort of the boat that you showed us last week.
Yeah.
But it's a little more compact, but just as luxurious with all the features you could possibly want.
Oh yeah.
On a boat this size.
As I said, this is a new model, and they've put in some really great seating features in particular. You've got tons of storage, built-in cooler. This seat converts 3 different ways. The back seat flips up to a backrest so you can sit facing backwards when you're at anchor. Just a ton of great options, very versatile, very comfortable boat.
Yep, and this whole command array here is, that's a technical term that I just made up, command array. It's all very obvious, very intuitive.
Absolutely. Everything's where it should be, easy to reach, clearly labeled, LED lighted switches. It's just, Sea Ray really does right with the details.
And it's a great family boat too. Now I know up here on the bow, yet again, we've got a place where the family can, relax and kick back and have a good time. I'm sure that you've got plenty of cup
holders. There's storage under the seats, lots of grab handles to help you feel comfortable out on the water.
Yeah, so you're not bouncing around. You don't bounce out if you're going fast, and I guess you can go pretty fast with an engine this size.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep, this boat will break 50 miles an hour easily.
Now, what I really like about this boat, and I know we talked about it a little bit, the whole inboard-outboard thing.
Right.
You've got all this room on the back where people can hang out.
Absolutely. Big swim platform, great for a day at Shell Island. Me and a lot of people I know, when we're at the island, we hang out around the back of the boat most of the day in the water.
Yeah.
You got tons of room to hop up there and sit, to set a cooler, set your glasses down when you
now look at this little deal. Now let me see if I remember how to do this. Oh, I did it wrong already, huh?
Yep.
That's the engine in there.
Yep,
right?
That gets you to the engine.
Okay.
Now
I'm trying to get this little backrest up.
Just pull this one.
Just the one. There we go.
There
all
you
right,
go.
and then you can pull that up.
Flip this back.
And you can sit right up here.
Yep. Great feature. Great
Man,
feature.
that's so cool.
Yep.
And like you say, you're out at Shell Island for the day. You're hanging off the back here. You throw your
Absolutely.
anchor over, and you're good to go. And you've got this bimini top to kind of keep that sun off you.
Yep. Very important for the sun protection.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I see you got a sound system. I'm looking at speakers all over the place too.
Great stereo. 6 speakers on the boat.
Yeah. Wow. So you can actually plug your iPod in or whatever. And
Absolutely.
You're off to the races. You're rocking and rolling on the waves here.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody wanted to get a closer look at this boat, can we just give you a call or stop
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're here on Thomas Drive, 3605 Thomas Drive.
Right near the Treasure Island Marina.
Absolutely. Where the treasure ship used to be.
Yeah.
The phone number is 850-708-1317, and you can find us on the web at marinemax.com/Panama City.
Todd Hudgel, thanks for showing us around.
Thank you, Don. Good to see you.
Appreciate that. And we'll be right back after your Waking Up with Don weather.
Welcome back. And today we have Alan Graham with Counts Real Estate and their preferred lender, Shelley Calloway. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you for having us. Good morning.
So what are we going to talk about today?
Today, we've been talking about real estate in the past, and a real estate agent has to have a surface knowledge of a lot of different areas in the aspect of a real estate closing. Lenders are one of those that are very important, and I need to know that certain things about different loans, FHA, VA, but when it gets down to the detailed questions, I always defer to a professional.
Okay.
And that's why I've invited Shelley on the
That's
program
where Shelley
today.
comes in.
Thank you for having me, yes.
and she's going to talk about first-time home buyers since we're getting so many tax refunds and the definition of what a first-time home buyer is. So,
I was going to ask you, what is a first-time home buyer? You know, I've bought in a few houses, but does that mean that I am not a first-time home buyer if I've purchased one already?
A first-time home buyer basically qualifies as a true first-time home buyer.
Okay.
You've never owned a primary residence, any type of home whatsoever, or you have not owned a home in the last 3 years.
Okay, so there is a chance to get that first-time home buyer's benefit again for tax purposes.
Correct. Correct.
Now, what are some things that people should know as a first-time home buyer going in?
Well, as Alan mentioned, the biggest thing that we're running into right now is a down payment for first-time home buyers. Having that down payment to enable you to actually purchase your primary residence. There are 100% financing options out there, but typically you're going to be looking at a general rule of thumb of 3.5% to 5% down.
Okay.
So what I'm actually speaking to the new home buyers about that are buying their first home especially is to leverage their tax refund that they're getting back for 2014 taxes, and that will enable them to be able to come up with their down payment and purchase the home.
Now, what other things should people look into when they're purchasing the home? They're saying, okay, a down payment, they're calculating, you know, the percentage. What other fees might there be that people should be aware of to prevent, you know, oh, I don't have enough money, or some surprises in the process?
Absolutely. So you bring up a great question. Not only do you have to consider your down payment, but that's something that you'll want to talk to a mortgage professional as myself and along with your real estate agent as Alan Graham, and talk about the negotiation process as far as the seller being able to do seller concessions and contribute to help pay for some of those closing costs, or we can put together a good faith estimate, just letting them know over and above their 3.5% to 5% minimum down payment what would be expected so that they can plan accordingly.
Okay. Now, from what it looks like, the market is a great time to buy, so people wanting to purchase, it is a good time for those first-time home buyers to get on while the swing is coming up again. You know, so many years.
It's a great time to buy now, but I also caution most of the people that I work with on buying their first home or even any home. The first place you need to make a stop before you start looking for the homes is with Shelley to get a pre-approval letter.
Okay.
Just about every contract that I write today or offer, we have to submit a pre-approval letter.
That's
the
very
buyer
important.
wants to know the seller wants to know that buyer is approved for what they are offering for the house.
Okay.
And that adds credibility to your offer, but it also stops that emotional attachment to a house that's too overpriced.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That I run into all the time.
So they're not going in looking at a house, oh, can I look at it a little bit more? Well, if they're not approved, why waste your time? And, you know, you might fall in love and then not like anything else that you see in your price range.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just to elaborate on that a little bit more, there is a difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval. And the biggest part of that is a pre-qualification is going to be based on your application that you submit in your credit report only. What we like to look for is go a step further and do a pre-approval, where we're actually getting your last 30 days of pay stubs, your last 2 years tax returns, your full 60 days of asset statements. These are the things that you want to start preparing for and getting together, so when it's time for you to purchase a home, you've got all the necessary documentation we need to go ahead and do a full pre-approval review. And as Alan mentioned, that's going to be very huge for sellers, especially when there's multiple offers made on the property. It's going to help the buyers look like they're serious. They've gone through not only the pre-qualification process but the pre-approval process, so they're serious buyers. And that's very important to be prepared with all of that documentation.
So you want to make sure before you go in, you have everything ready for you, so that way the process is nice and smooth.
Absolutely.
So when you find that house, you can go in and grab it before someone else does.
That's exactly right.
Well, awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us today, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Thank you.
Welcome back, and today we have Allison Smith here from Herb Effects. Thank you again for being here. And what are we going to talk about today?
Mole crickets.
Some lovely creatures I'm noticing from these photos she has with her.
I tried to bring a live one, but this is kind of an awkward time of the year to get one in. People will still see them crawling.
Yeah.
But they're kind of these prehistoric little creatures. They're really nasty looking.
I had never seen one until seeing this picture, and I don't know if I want to.
They're about 2 inches long with the grown-ups, and they do a lot of damage to your turf.
Okay.
They actually like our soil. They like our sand. So they're in almost all they can get anybody's grass basically down here. And if you think you have them, you'll see, they're called mole crickets, kind of like a mole that crawls through.
Okay.
you'll see these little miniature tunnels, just like you would if you had a mole, but just smaller. And they actually eat your roots, so they damage your turf from underground.
Underneath.
Yes, and they're very, very funky. I
Yeah,
had
they
a
look-
professor that used to joke that dinosaurs were stepping on these things going, oh, what was that? So they've been around forever, and they're on all continents except Antarctica. So they're
Wow.
worldwide. They're a problem. Everybody
So
battles
I
these
should have
guys.
seen one of these
I know.
for how
Well,
ugly they are.
I know.
How could
and
you miss them?
they're weird looking. They really, and it's kind of funny. They say they're the only insect that have hands. They have these weird little appendages.
Really?
That looks almost like a completely tiny little hand. So.
Oh my goodness.
But they start out extremely, extremely tiny, and this is what I want to talk about. They are just starting to hatch in your turf under the ground, and they start small, and from a couple centimeters, they're already doing damage. Like they hatch and they immediately
Start
are
eating
eating your
away.
roots. But unfortunately, they have a really tough skeleton, exoskeleton,
Okay.
and they're really hard to kill once they get grown up. So chemically, you only have a handful of chemicals that work anyway on them, and they work on the babies. I mean, once they become a grown up, you're basically
shooting them with BB guns?
You're basically shooting them with BB guns and training your dog to kill them.
Yeah.
So, but people will find them. They come to bright light.
Okay.
So like at night, like if you have really bright light shining on your driveway, people will see them then. Their pools, they're really
Okay.
common to have them go to your pool lights. So then they get in the water, they fall in, and people will find them in
Pulling
their
'em up.
traps. And they're like,
Yuck.
what is
yeah.
that? They're just really, really, they're
So
awful.
You want to catch them early.
You want to treat them. You actually will start treating them in your lawn. They hatch in, like, say, late April, May, June is when the babies are starting to really hatch.
Okay.
So you're coming up on the time that
You're gonna
you really
wanna-
want to get your insecticides put out for that.
So pretty much anybody with a yard is going to want to
Yes.
contact you to make sure that they get this covered, even if they don't see them.
Right.
They are
Because
going
they're
to
gonna
be there.
underground. Yeah. And the crazy thing is let's say you don't have them, but all of a sudden your neighbor may have them. Well, they're
They're
just
gonna
gonna crawl right
crawl
over
right
into your
over.
yard. Yeah. So they're funky. We get funny phone calls. I have this crazy looking little thing in my driveway.
What is
It's a
this?
mole
Get rid
cricket.
of- Yeah.
Without even looking, I'm gonna bet mole cricket.
Yeah.
It's a good guess. So yeah.
So it's everybody should just make their phone calls now.
yeah,
It's gonna.
230-1200. There you
Yep.
go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And they can check out your website. I'm
Yes, ma'am.
guessing. Yep. To make sure that this doesn't become a problem, because once
Right.
they do, you do not want these ugly
It's
things
awful.
in your yard, and they're going to ruin from underneath. And there's no
Yes.
way to fix it once they do.
Pretty much. They're
Lots
pretty
more
hard to kill.
chemicals. So
Yeah. You want to avoid all that kind of stuff.
yes, absolutely. So
One of the wonders of Florida soils. One of the fun things that you have out here.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's lots of fun. They're not so pretty. So yes, get these taken care of. The mole crickets.
Yeah.
Contact Herb Effects,
Thank you.
and we'll get that taken care of.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us today.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Gene Hester from Cedar and Cypress Woodworks up in Southport here in Panama City. I just got to show you some of the beautiful woodwork that this man does. Gene, welcome back to the show. I know you were on about a year or so ago, and
Yes, sir, we was, and we do appreciate the opportunity to come back on.
well, you know, I got to tell you, this isn't just furniture and stuff. I'm looking at this water wheel, and this is like a no kidding work of art. This is folk art, whether you realize it or not. It is a beautiful thing, and it's maybe you can describe it to us. It's a water wheel. I
Yes, sir.
suppose.
These are self-contained cedar water wheels. They hold about 1 gallon to 1.5 gallons of water. The functioning water wheels have a recirculating pump in them, and it pumps the water up to the water wheel, and the wheels turn. And it even has a little birdhouse on top of it that you can clean out. You know, it's got everything 100% cedar.
Yeah, there you go. You got your little birdhouse around back. You know, you got the back stairs for the birds, and it's just a beautiful thing here. And I wish you could smell what I'm smelling too, because the smell of the cedar is really
It is very nice.
it is a nice smell. Now I know before we started the interview, you said you don't smell it anymore.
No,
do you?
sir, I don't. I guess I'm immune to it. I've smelled it so long.
Yeah, and you build these things in your home shop, is that right?
We do. And my wife decorates them. We sell them just a plain cedar one. So we have women that like to get them for their children so they can do their own crafting, make their own stores and stuff like that. And then we sell them fully decorated.
And there's a lot of other things you do beside these smaller things. You make these all sizes, don't you?
Yes, sir. I make these in 3 and 4 and 5 foot diameters with koi ponds underneath them for people to have fish in. I can say you just a wheel if that's what you'd like.
And I've also I saw your truck and I've seen your stuff before, and you've got this big swing, this big cedar swing that is just a beautiful thing.
Yes, sir. We make swings out of either cedar or cypress, and we make them anywhere from 2 foot up to 10 foot long. We just custom build them. We make beds out of bed swings, anything you'd like.
Wow. And the properties of cedar, for those of you who don't know, who may have been living in a closet, I mean, it's mildew resistant, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's termites actually don't eat it. It's billed as rot resistant, and it's also termite and insect resistant.
Yeah, so it is the perfect thing. You can leave this thing outdoors, on your porch or wherever.
Yes, sir.
As well as
if you don't do anything to it, it'll turn a silver gray over a few years. Now, all of our stuff that we make, we put a coat of sealer on it so it protects it and the water just beads up off of it. But if you don't have to do anything to it.
That's a wonderful thing. We got to run off to a break now, Gene, but I know you brought some other stuff, and on the other side of this commercial break, I want to look at these beautiful rocking chairs and the table that you brought along with you today. Right. And stay tuned, because you're really going to appreciate this stuff. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Gene Hester from Cedar and Cypress Woodworks up in Southport. Did I say that right, Cedar and Cypress?
Yes, you did.
Okay, well, because I could be Cypress and Cedar, but I guess we're Cedar and Cypress, and we're sitting in these beautiful rocking chairs. Now, what are these made out of? These are cedar?
100% cedar.
100% cedar, and you can smell them. I mean, it is real quality workmanship here. How long does it take you to put one of these together, Gene?
It takes a couple of days to build a set like this. I can make them in either cedar or cypress, and it doesn't matter which one. It takes about the same amount of time.
Well, what's the difference between cedar and cypress? What's the value of that? Now, we talked about cedar
really
a
and
little
truly,
bit.
it's just personal preference. People like the cedar more than the cypress because of the red colors. They both have the same characteristics. Like I said earlier, they're both insect and rot resistant, so it's just personal preference.
So either one. Now I notice you've got this great little table here as well to go along with these great little rockers. You've got a cedar table, right?
Yes, sir.
Now,
it's actually comes with a serving tray in it for people to go in the house, get their beverages or sandwiches or whatever, and they tote them out and set them in the deck, and you can cook right there. And a lot of the women purchase them because they put them in their bedroom for an end table that they're beside their bed.
Well, that'll make a cool little end
flip
table
them over
too.
like that, and then the handles are gone, set their clocks and medicines and stuff like that on them.
So, and this can go outside, inside, wherever you need to put it.
Yes, sir.
It'll work. And this is also sealed like you do with all of your furniture.
Yes, sir. Everything we make has that sealer on it. The water just beads right off the top of it.
Well, I could see myself sitting on the porch, having a cup of coffee, rocking back and forth on these things. It's quite comfortable, too.
We have these. We have, like I was saying, the tables. We also made some nice planters we've come out with this year that are about 3 foot tall. They're all out of cedar and cypress and sealed. And you can have a very nice deck. Matter of fact, we this year have just finished up our new deck area. We have a couple of pergolas and gazebos.
Oh, really?
We have a
Wow.
huge deck area. We have swings set up on them. We have rocking chairs set up on them. We have our 3 and 4 foot diameter water wheels out there that people can come and sit in and try out the furniture. Take it with you or have it delivered.
So don't take my word for it. I mean, we can go out and take a look at all your stuff and see what we like.
Yes, sir.
Now, where exactly are you located?
We're at 9221 Sander Grace Road in Southport, Florida.
In Southport there. And of course, you're on Facebook, because I see your stuff on Facebook as well. And, and do you have a website or anything else?
We do, but I have a link to my through my Facebook page to my web page. It's just simpler that way.
Yeah, Cedar and Cypress Woodworks. Look, everybody's on Facebook.
Yes,
Go
sir.
take a look.
If you Google it, you'll find us.
Yep, Google it up. Take a look at it. Take a ride out, better yet, and take one of these rocking chairs for a spin, because I want this one. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck to you, Gene. Thank you for bringing your beautiful craftsmanship to the studio today, and we'll see you next time.